G'day YouTube, welcome back to my channel Bonsai Works. Today I've got this juniper that belongs to a client. Now I have styled this tree initially and it's in my video series. I'll have to go and look up where the video is, but definitely styled this tree for the owner. Now it's come back, I had a look at, I was in the owner's garden and I had a look and I go, the wire's cutting in, the tree's really healthy and overgrown. It's actually too healthy, like it's really extremely healthy at the top, starting to lose the lower branches, things like that starting to happen. So I said I'll bring it back and I'll give it a good once over, look over it, take the wire off that's cutting in, so things like that, clean up some of the branching. I'm going to try and leave, I don't really want to touch the new growth. The new growth is really good, healthy, getting the tree settled. So I will remove branches that need to be removed, but I won't be going and fully rewiring this tree or anything like that. I'll just use the wire that's there, position things back in place, and also trim off some of the undergrowth. You know, you don't want some of this stuff growing down now, but I won't touch anything that's growing above that's fresh. I'm not going to trim it off. Just going to put the wire back in place, things like that. So it's a bit of the next step in the styling phase. Even though probably I would have liked to do this, it's actually currently in mid-spring here, and really nice, healthy, fresh growth. I don't really like to touch junipers at this stage, but in this case, it needs some sort of thinning out just because it's crazy overgrown. You're going to lose these branches if I let it go anymore. Ideally, I would have done this in autumn, or late summer, autumn would have been a good time to do it, but we can do it now as well. So I'm just going to get started in looking into this tree and starting to take the wire off. That's probably the most important part. Lots of wire cutting in. I will try and show you one really particular one in here. I'll zoom in into this area here. You can see heavily cutting in. Whatever that video was, probably a year ago I did it. Probably a year ago, a bit more maybe. It's cutting in definitely. So I need to get that wire off. Hopefully the sub-brand wires don't need to come off, so I can leave them on and just position some of those smaller branches. So I'm just going to clip away and we'll come back. Now just quickly, simply by cleaning up underneath, you can see how nice this pad's started to form out, and so is this one. I've just started to clean up pretty much anything that's going down. Anything that was maybe too vigorous, I've just trimmed off as well. Just slowly going through it. Luckily down here, none of this wire is cutting in. All the sub branches are still okay, not cutting in, but I'm getting up to the area most likely in the top where area starts to cut in too much. So we'll go through, it's purely cleaning up, like I'm just cleaning up the underneath. So nothing really extravagant or new techniques. It's the same techniques over and over again. Just picking through, only pluck underneath, not on top. Okay, and if there's something long on top, I'll come in and trim it off with the scissors. So, you know, that's where I'm at. So that's how you go about doing this. So we should start to reduce a lot of this, and it should actually look nice and refined again. So you can actually see now some of the pads starting to actually look a lot better, a lot more cleaner, getting their shape back. Even the smaller ones, getting all their shape back. There's a bit of wire cutting in, of course, but that's okay. I mean, it'll heal out eventually, so no big deal. So I'm up to about here now on the tree, so I've just got it's really ahead to go. But look at by just cleaning up a tree, keeping it all clean underneath, cleaning out the growth, reducing any heavy areas, and readjusting the wire is really important. Like I was able to just readjust a lot of the fine wiring. I didn't have to remove anything except if something's died off. But it's been very easy, especially with the wiring I've done previously. I've only had to remove the main wire on some of these branches and that's it. So it's easy to just cut those off as I went through the tree. So really, and then just get the pads back. Had to put a bit of wire on things that have grown extra long, which is great because it's good that they formed in those areas. Now I'm just going to get into this. Now I have seen some wire cutting into here, so we'll just reduce that. And then you'll see how much foliage in here. I'm not going to, as I said, I'm not going to pinch out the growth, but by cutting off certain branches a bit further back, you actually open up the tree and the tree will look a lot better. So it's hard to show you that detail, but the theory is, or the idea is to reduce a lot of this by removing some branches that you don't need. And usually that's because if you lay out a branch like this, things will be growing underneath. And as soon as you cut all those off on all the branches, you're pretty much done. the tree will look totally different. So for example, I've probably seen this one. I have to check if the wire cuts in, but if you just readjusted, I just readjusted that into its position, you can really see that's gone, that's gone, that's gone. You start to clean up pretty quickly without even looking properly. Like, it's already starting to get better. There's some dead bits, so you get rid of those. And look at that. It's really starting to form a branch on its own in here. So, and it's cleared up a space in here, so you can see a bit more in. So now I can have a look and see what's cutting in here. That's how it pretty much goes through the tree. So as soon as you get the branches back in the spots they should be, thin them out a bit, and clean up the lower parts, you actually open up the tree quite a lot. All right, so here's where I ended up being with this tree. Really nicely refined pads, really clean lines everywhere, just fixing up the wire pretty much, wired a few bits and pieces, really only on the periphery, the things that got too long, cut off some wire that was cutting in. Next time, maybe in 6 months' time, I think I'll have to remove the trunk wire. I think it's fine for now, there's no cutting in, but maybe in 6 months' time, it'll be time to get that off. Some of the thicker wire on these branches hasn't come off, stayed on, so maybe next time will be required. Other than that, it's just purely clean lines underneath. Anything growing down, remove. Anything that's really heavy, I have to remove as well. But I left a lot of the healthy growth, new growth on the tree, because it's really important for the root development and the health of the tree. So there you go. I'm contemplating removing that branch as well. I'll ask the owner if that's okay when I see them. It's pretty much useless at the moment, unless it becomes a really strong branch in the future. I don't think it will, but you never know, it might. So they've left it on in the hope that it will strengthen and will grow longer and will grip bigger to give a better tree. It'd be nice to have a very long branch here strong, but I don't think it's going to work. But you know what? If I cut it off, I won't even get that chance. So leave it on if you're not sure. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Clean up your trees, keep them refined, keep them looking good. Thanks for watching. See you next time.